S is for the S's that have disappeared. H is for house, it's changed, my dear. I is for incredible, lots of changes to our edibles. F is freaky cause Mandela effects are all the buzz. And T is for time that's running fast. Y is for your memories, hope they last. If it's not a fun day, won't you join me Shifty Sunday? Shifty Sunday for Emmys. Shifty Sunday, if you please.
Well, all right. Hebrew, I'm your welcome to Shifty Sunday. I'm your host that burns the toast, Hebrew 77, along with Armor Up, Sagittariusly speaking, and welcoming back to the show, Raven.
Thanks, guys.
Yay, Raven's back.
Yeah, I was expecting to hear caw, 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 caw.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the unusual intro. You don't usually get tied up on your own tongue there, Captain.
Well, I don't
And
always.
did you say you burnt the toast? Because I've been sitting here waiting like 10 minutes for toast.
Well, yeah, I always burn the toast.
Well, I guess I'll just have to keep waiting.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll scrape it all off for you. For the rest of the people, I'll put in new bread. But yours, I'll just scrape off.
My mom used to think that would work. I usually ended up throwing it away.
Right.
She's like, here, let me scrape it off for you. I'm like, oh, that means I'm not going to get any new toast. I might as well play along.
Or I'd feed it to the dog. Speaking of dogs, Armor, I hear you got a new dog.
Yep, I got a new pup. He's playing ball right now.
Cool.
What's its name?
We don't know. I call it Swiffer.
Okay, because like the cleaning thing.
Yep.
That's a cool name. But that's not official. It's not his official government name yet. It's yet to be decided, huh?
Yeah. The wife gets to pick the original name. I always call my dog different than what everybody else does, so I'll call him Swiffer. But yeah, basically every dog we've ever had, they call it one thing. I call it something else.
Yeah, I can relate to that as well.
And it'll answer to both. It's only 6 months, so we got a little time to figure out its name.
Yeah, and dog always knows when you're talking to it, no matter what name you're calling it.
Yeah, its ears perk up, and yeah. My dog's name is easy to remember. It's Dog. I say, "Come here, dog," and here she comes. Now, my wife calls the dog something else. I don't know what her name for her is. Probably Chrissy or some crap like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, my last dog, the one we had to put down right before Christmas, was Destiny, but I called it Pup. So I called it Pup. It was 10 years old almost. But it was always Pup. Yeah, its real name was Destiny.
Sometimes it seems like dogs and cats, even sometimes for that matter, get blessed with some of the coolest names. Things you would never have the nerve to name a child, but in the long run, does end up sounding way cooler than any child's name you could have thought of.
Yeah, I gotta admit, my oldest daughter's awesome at child names. I got a granddaughter named Karma and a granddaughter named Serenity. So.
Well, those are definitely great names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so, but I'm prejudiced because I'm Pat. Hey, we got Preliminal and Lorraine Lamore in the house so far. There's our shout out to start the show.
All right.
That was easy, huh?
Preliminal said he needs to hear some good news. He thinks he felt a negative OD. We got some good news lined up later this evening. I got 3 good stories, and we'll probably show my pup because that's good news to me.
Yeah, your
For
pup's
sure.
awesome. I love dogs, man. I got a soft spot in my heart for dogs. That's for sure.
I was just telling Hebrew, I think yesterday or somebody, that I'd like to get me a pet dog here pretty soon.
Oh,
He's a hippie right now. He needs a haircut, but he's still cute.
Yeah, actually, I think I was on the phone with my daughter when I was telling her about it.
Oh, you
So,
got that. A man and his dog's just like, I mean, I don't know. That's just the way I was raised. A boy and his dog. You always had
same
that.
here. As a boy, I had some of the best dogs you could ever ask for. And when I look back on it now, and I think of their kindred spirit, and how much it was a factor, and and the story, when you look back and you recall the whole story itself, um, more often than not, there was a dog that's part of the tale that would have been missing had he not been there. Pretty significant role that they play.
I mean, you think about all of our greatest leaders, all had dogs, and they were all by their sides. And you think about the military, the good men and women of the military. A lot of them have dogs as companions, and they're not only companions, but they're actually part of the military. Like they actually have ranks, and they have their own thing, and I think they get it just as much benefits as the guy does.
Oh yeah, and then also just think about all the early settlers when they first came here, and you got your family and you're trucking out on unbeaten paths and going through woods, and all of a sudden there's a there's a dog hanging on the outskirt of your vision, and once you feed it a few times and get to know it, and it becomes part of the clan, you feel much better off on those long starless nights, hearing crooks and critters in the woods, knowing you got a dog sitting next to your campfire.
Oh, sure. And I'll tell you another thing, man. Dogs are loyal to the bitter end. I mean, even ones that you know, I'll tell you, we had a lot of hunting dogs growing up and stuff like that. And when I was growing up and got older and started doing a lot of hunting and stuff, ain't nothing better companion than a dog. I tell you what, if you're in the back of a truck and it's cold outside, you snuggle up next to a bunch of hunting dogs and you'll keep warm. And uh, same thing goes with any dog, I guess. But hunting dogs is the best, man. I remember one time I was walking through the woods and I tripped and I fell, and the dog was way off in the distance from me, but he turned around and came back and came up to me and licked my hand as though to say, "Hey, man, you okay there?" And then as soon as I got up and he knew I was okay, he took back off again. So yeah, make the long story short, I love dogs. They love me, and I don't think a person, man, woman, or child could have a better companion than a dog.
I'm a cat person.
Well, there you go. There's a person who would rather have a cat. You know what? That's fine too. Everybody's entitled to like whatever they want to like. And I've had a few cool cats along the way too. But I tell you what, as far as pets go, I have to go with Hebrew on. Some of my dogs have been my best companions, but there's nothing wrong with a good old cat either, I guess.
Well,
Yeah,
I've
I've had,
had a few dogs, but I just prefer cats.
Hmm.
yeah, I've
Sorry,
had some
Arnold.
over the years, but yeah, I'm like them. I prefer a dog, but I've had some awesome cats, and I don't turn down a kitty, but there's just something about a dog, a boy and his dog. Like I said, maybe it's a man thing, who knows, but just something about a dog. And if you want, they're the closest thing I could think next to a good woman, which is very hard to find. But don't worry now, don't flip out. A good man's even harder to find. Let me just get that. But if you find a real good woman that really understands what a wife is, till death do you part, good or better, worse, whatever, all that stuff, that or a dog is the best way to get a little bit of a taste of unconditional love. Just a little bit of a taste.
Yeah, I
Come
mean,
Yeah.
would it be something if all men were as loyal as most dogs?
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? It'd be an awesome world, I think.
For sure, man. I'll tell you what, I agree with you 100%, man. I know you got you a good woman. I got me a good woman. She's with me. She's a good woman if she's with me, There, I said it myself.
Well, she definitely has to have um, some endearing qualities to be able to put up with you on a day in and day out basis. That's for sure.
Fruits of the spirit, I would say: long suffering, patience, peace. Yep, I'd say they have to exhibit all that to put up with you, or me for that matter.
Yeah, or myself included. Yeah, I would have to say, I've tested out a few, and none of them's managed yet. I've got to go back to square one in that department.
Well, I admit I've got a good man, so behind every good man is a good woman.
That's a fact.
Here, here.
A good woman by his side and a good dog on the other side. That makes for a great man.
There you go. Hey, let me ask you guys something real quick. Just real quick. You guys think? I think we talked about this before. But as good as dogs are, and even cats, I guess cats out there in there too. Even though I don't like cats, but you think dogs like go to heaven?
I do.
Well, I seen the movie All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Wow.
I seen the movie a long time ago. So Preliminal says men can have cats too. Absolutely. I'm not saying men can't have cats. I used to have cats. Like I said, I love my kitties. They were awesome. But there's just a difference. I mean, you don't take your cat in the woods with you, and you don't take your cat in the car rides, and not normally. Cats are just different, But I don't know. That's a good question, Hebrew. I didn't want to make light of it because it is. I don't know. It's pretty hard to think. But if heaven's heaven, I would think I'd want to have dogs and horses and all the animals. But then again, we're going to be spiritual type bodies. I don't know. That's a tough question. But I would think they would be.
I don't think our Father would give us all of these wonderful pets and then not have their spirits with us when we reach heaven.
Yeah. They show us so much love here, and that heaven's all about love. So I'm sure they're a part of the picture.
Yeah, I just don't I don't think that they would serve the pet roles though in heaven. I think they would just be more of a kindred spirit of something that you find solace and comfort in, having that energy and that spirit with you or around you, because you know it and you're familiar with it more so than you still have to. Because keep in mind, in heaven, you're no longer its responsibility. It's now its own free spirit. That's the way I would imagine it anyway.
Well, if you own cats, you already know they're free spirits.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it'd be like the greatest of both worlds. All the joy of the pet without having to feed it or worry about its shots or worry about it aging or worry about having to put it down or you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I'd be there. Preliminal says he likes parrots too. That's cool. Yeah, I used to have a cockatiel. He was awesome. Had a couple of cockatiels, but the one was really cool. He used to mess with the cat. He'd walk around the coffee table and he'd take cigarette butts out of the ashtray. And when the cat would walk by the coffee table, he'd drop them on the cat and then take off running like something. And then the kids would get their bowl of cereal. He'd fly down and hop in the bowl of cereal because he knew they'd go, "Oh, Mom, the bird's in my cereal." And he'd get a whole bowl of cereal to eat. So yeah, he was cool as heck.
Oh man, that sounds great. I'll tell you why, that's funny. It goes to show you animals have a sense of humor too.
Oh yeah, he'd mess with that cat to no end. They had the cat and the bird. He was always messing with that cat. It's hilarious.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, I like lizards and turtles as pets too.
Oh yeah. I've had some lizards and turtles. Like I said, I think it was last week about when I was growing up in the woods. There'd always be the box turtles, and I'd take my model paints and put a number on them or something, so I know which turtles I'd already come across.
That's a neat idea.
Turtles and frogs.
Yeah, every time I see a turtle crossing the road, I slow down for it. You know, I know we have a huge problem with turtles getting run over here in my area.
Yeah, I've always been a rescuer of turtles too, so.
Yeah, sometimes I'll end up over here at the garden. My daughter's brought home many turtles. She's a turtle. She loves turtles.
But the only lizards I don't like are the lizards that are about 6 foot tall and have human skin on them.
The lot lizards. I don't like lot lizards.
I don't think any of us like those.
I don't think I was talking. I wasn't talking about that, but that does match up with.
Oh no. You've done it now.
Yeah, you done got him now.
He's gone. Gone. We've lost Ebro. Please stand by. You're in here. It'll be all right. It'll be in healing.
Oh man, Arbor, you killed me. Whew.
Rough week. We need some fun.
We all needed that laugh.
Yes,
Fun.
for sure. Oh man. Whew. Just give me a moment to compose myself. I'll be right back.
Moment. Heck, he's had a whole lifetime, and look all the further he's got. I don't think a moment's going to cure it.
I can tell y'all about my good news this week.
Well, there you go. Hey, let's hear it.
I had to go back to the breast center to get a ultrasound done because they found a spot on my right breast. And the whole week I had been praying to Father about it and repeating this mantra. And while I was in there, while the technician was doing the ultrasound, I was still repeating all of that. And she just barely found a little teeny tiny spot and wanted the doctor to come in and look at it. He came in and he couldn't find it. He kept going all around and around it and could not find it, and finally handed the wand back to her and says, "Here, you find it. I'm tired." So anyhow, he thinks that it might just be a little cyst, and I don't have to go back, but I've got to go back in 6 months and have it retested. But that was my good news for the week.
That's awesome. I love it when the doctors scratch their heads and wonder what's going on, because that's usually a sign of someone else taking care of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, I happen to agree. That is great news. It's always encouraging when they're able to rule out the worst case scenarios. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that reminds me. Keep my buddy Merle in your prayers next Wednesday. Next Wednesday? or the Wednesday after. Either this Wednesday coming or the Wednesday after. He's got to get down to
Merle?
Merle, M-E-R-L.
Okay.
Merle. He's got to get some lymph nodes and cysts or something checked out. So keep him in your prayers. Everything will come back negative and be all right. His wife, Tanya, is the one that we just found out was cancer-free thanks to all our prayers. So,
Oh, that's great.
same thing for Merle and really blew their minds.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just added Merle to my prayer list. Did Hebrew really go away?
Oh, I doubt it.
Hello, Hebrew. Is anybody out there?
I hope he didn't fall over his toys again.
Anybody out there? Hello, can you hear me?
Not if you can hear me. Is there anyone at home? Come on, come on.
Well, I tell you what.
Down.
Oh, sorry.
And ease your pain. Get you on your feet again. Relax, relax, relax. Need some information first. Oh, sorry. You triggered me. Carry on.
Hey, I love that song, so you could sing it
Yeah.
all day long for me.
That's my theme song, man, back in the day. Comfortably numb. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always liked that song too. I couldn't remember the words to sing along with you at the exact moment, or I would have tried.
You can sing it all.
The whole album, actually, that particular one is amazing.
Yeah, The Wall was definitely one of their best. Dark Side of the Moon was right up there too, but The Wall was definitely one of the best.
Okay. I got this thing on here, and I don't know if you guys remember back in the 80s, there was this guy, his name was Max Headroom. And
All right, wait a second, brother. Sorry, but before you get into that, because this is going to take a little bit, I just got to tell you, Jennifer Lambert in the chat says we need to write a country song called "Are There Lot Lizard in Heaven?"
That's
oh
a
boy,
good one.
I had to share that one. So sorry, carry on. Carry on.
oh boy. No, I don't know. I don't think so.
That almost sounds like it would be like a one of those country / rap songs, like a country song with a guest rapper, like Nelly or something.
Let's see here.
Or maybe Kid Rock. I don't know. I digress.
Speaking of rap, remind me after the show. I got some lyrics for you for the birthday song thing or whatever it is, anniversary thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I came up with an idea for some lyrics, so I think maybe you could put them to a rap or something for us. Remind me after the show. We'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll do.
All right, let's get to Max.
okay. You guys all remember Max Headroom, right? He was the character.
Yeah, he well, I remember him from Pepsi commercials more than anything else, but
Right.
and he stuttered, and he was kind of like the first virtual person on TV, right?
Yeah, he didn't stutter. He had like computer glitches. He'd like glitch, like.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah, like-
him on MTV.
Yeah, like Max Headroom here. Like it was like his transmission was like would stutter or be interrupted or something. Yeah, he was glitching out.
I remember that guy.
Now that I think back, he kind of reminds you of like Mr. Smith from The Matrix a little bit, but not quite. Once he got the job at the FBI, then he became Mr. Smith, right?
Well, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
cool.
yeah, you got something Max Headroom related?
It's not a Mandela effect. It's more.
Did you say Mandela effect?
Mandela effect?
Mandela effect. It falls more along the lines of conspiracy theory, or not. Well, not necessarily conspiracy theory, but something
Conspiracy theory.
weird.
A conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy theory?
It's, oh boy. See what I started.
And you love it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Shifty Sunday without us doing that shtick. It never gets old. Trust me. But,
Yeah, it never gets old until that moment when it does, but it hasn't happened yet. So let's keep going.
no, right. So no, this would fall. Let me share my screen here. Let me get it up here. Zoop, share and share and share and relax. There we go. Okay, I got
To infinity and beyond.
okay.
Right
Now-
there you go. You can see it.
Now here they show this is what happened. This guy comes on the TV. Well, here, let me read the thing. On November 22nd, 1987, two TV stations in Chicago had their broadcast signals hijacked by someone wearing a Max Headroom mask. In the years since, Redditors have played with an integral role in getting to the bottom of the case. Who done it? Why? How? We dig into the story. So it says here, it's I got a video I want to show you guys. This is a video, and I kind of remember when this happened. It interrupted a broadcast on the news in Chicago.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this guy
So
that
this is like somebody like pirated the broadcast airwaves and used like a Max Headroom type person to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah, because Max Headroom had been out for, like 4 years prior to this, 4 or 5 years.
yeah, he came out probably mid to early 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see if I got the video, but I don't have it.
Well, I got back from Germany in 84, and he was already a thing because people were saying about Max Headroom. I said, what the heck is that? Because I was a German. But so, yeah, he was out at least in 84.
I don't know what that was, but oh, okay. Well, let me read this article too before I show the video. Strangest fact: there is a lot of strangeness to this story, but a good place to start may be the fact that Max Headroom was a thing. 3 English music video directors created the character, claiming he was the world's first computer-generated TV host. He was, in fact, actor Matt Frewer. An elaborate latex makeup made him look like a sophisticated computer graphic. In fact, computers in 1987 couldn't draw anything as sophisticated as Max. Frewer's voice was modulated with a harmonizer, making his voice sound computerized, as well as adding hiccups. That's what you guys were talking about, the glitches. Sudden pitch shifts and other glitches. The character took off hosting a music video show for Channel 4, which eventually became a talk show. I didn't know that. I just thought he did commercials.
The Max Headroom show. Yep, the Max Headroom show. I remember that.
Okay. Despite the elaborate nature of the character, Frewer was talented improviser who could perform Max live. Headroom then jumped across the pond for a sci-fi action series, Max Headroom. Okay. In which Frewer played both Max and a crusading reporter in a dystopian future ruled by TV networks hacking and overriding a TV station signal was solidity in the show's wheelhouse. Max also had the thankless job of promoting New Coke, but only after Coke Classic had returned. Huh. How many of you guys remembered New Coke?
Unfortunately, I do.
But
I-
so they're saying he switched sides from working with Pepsi to now working for Coke.
Oh, sure.
Must have.
Yeah,
has a
I don't remember that.
Let me get that video pulled up. I lost it. I had it and then I lost it.
You would have thought Pepsi would have owned the rights, would have known to own the rights to him, but I guess they didn't.
Yeah, well, I don't think. I mean, he was an actual actor, so I don't think Pepsi could own the. I mean, it's an actor can do commercials for whoever they want. You know what I mean? Now, normally they'll sign a contract, but an actor can do a Pepsi commercial and then switch to Coke.
Yeah. See, I always thought in my mind that Max Headroom was created by Pepsi, but now I'm learning otherwise.
No,
He kind of,
Pepsi commercial.
yeah, it sounds like he kind of was like one of the first people to go viral before going viral was a thing,
When I got home, like I said, in '84, MTV was a big thing now, and he actually did a spot on MTV. I forget, it might have been, it was more of a metal or rock related, if I remember correctly. Or he may have just appeared in Headbangers Ball once in a while. I don't remember, but
Yeah, no, it almost seems like he was on Beavis and Butthead too.
yeah, he was on quite a few different shows, making them, for an episode or two.
Okay, well, I got the video. I found it. Let me know when you
Yeah.
guys.
This would have been like 4 days before my 17th birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing this video. It's pretty wild.
Okay. Everybody can see that?
Yep.
All right. Let me know if it's got sound. Hopefully we get this under the Fair Use Act of
If there's any sound right now, we can't hear it. Nope, not hearing the sound.
Yeah, you might want to turn it up. And you might want to start it over. I didn't get to finish reading that.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Should I pause it while it's up there? Tell you guys. There you go.
It might not hurt to pause it.
Yeah, I'll just read it out loud from what I can see.
Okay.
During a 1987 broadcast of Doctor Who on Chicago PBS affiliate WTTW, a mysterious person wearing a Max Headroom mask broke in a broadcast and broadcasted one of the strangest pirated television in Chicago. To this day, the hijacker remains at large. The transmission was heavily distorted, and many people cannot make out what he is saying. I have translated this message as best I could.
Okay.
All right,
cool.
go ahead.
All right.
That is stupid. You should talk often with the old ones of your tribe. That is the only way to learn.
I'll get you a hot drink.
Drink some dry clothing.
Chips roast. Jesus. Oh, I just made a giant masterpiece for all of the greatest world newspaper nerds. My brother wore the other one.
Okay. Yeah, this is weird, to say the least.
As far as I can tell, a massive electric shock. He died instantly. The generator.
I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, whoops.
Well, that was rather strange.
That was really weird. The thing about it is he actually did that once before during a news broadcast. I'm going to try to bring that one up as well.
Huh. Well, you definitely went to extravagant means and had a preordained message that he wanted to get across. It'll be interesting to see what this one says.
Hold on. Let me.
Two local Chicago television stations were hijacked, and a pirate signal was broadcast in their place. These events have come to be called the Max Headroom pirating incident, based on the Max Headroom mask worn by the pirate. To this day, the case is still unsolved.
Here's the first
On
one.
the WGN 9 o'clock nightly news, the evening sports report was interrupted by this Max Headroom character. The signal ran for approximately 30 seconds until the Channel 9 technicians were able to override the transmission. This transmission was without audio, leaving many viewers generally confused as to what they had just seen.
So if you're wondering what happened, so am I.
However, the people of Chicagoland had not seen the last of the mysterious Max Headroom pirate. About 2 hours later, during WTTW's 11 o'clock broadcast of the show Doctor Who, it struck again. This time, Max uses airtime to personally attack WGN and the Tribune Company, as well as the Food Bits employees.
So, yeah, I actually have a vague memory of this. I don't know if I saw it rebroadcasted on the news or if I actually remember seeing it live when it happened.
So, how old would you have been approximately?
In 1987?
Yeah.
1987, I would have been I'm going to say about 9 or 10 years old.
That's what I thought. Just barely old enough to pull it off. And you finally decided on this broadcast to come clean. Because I know you're from Illinois.
Oh, boy.
This is breaking news. We're going to have so many views. I can't believe you had the nerve to come forward here, bro.
Yeah, next thing I know, I'm going to have to look out my window here and see if there's a black van waiting for me. But I just thought that was a weird incident, and I wanted to share with all of you if you didn't remember it or.
So what kind of research are they still doing on it on Reddit?
I guess it would help if I put that up there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what's the latest? Did you find out anything? Has there been any recent developments? What's the latest working theory?
The working theory is there was some guy, he worked at Pizza Hut at the time, and or no, he didn't work at Pizza Hut. He worked for the station at the time, and he met his buddies over at Pizza Hut, and they talked about the incident. But that is neither confirmed or unconfirmed.
All right. And there hasn't been any Max Headroom hijackings to that Chicago radio station since you were 10, right?
Yeah, right. Hey, wait a minute.
That's right. Make him older.
No, no. But let me I just thought it was a weird thing to share with you guys and those in the audience. Um it'd be interesting to see if there's any comments uh from people that remember that incident. And also
Talking about how old we'd have been at that time. No one said they remembered it though. I remember seeing it, but that's back when I was researching stuff and seeing the videos talking about the incident. I don't honestly remember seeing it in 87, but I wasn't watching a lot of TV in 87. So
From what I can tell, it only took place on Chicago TV station, so I don't think it was a national. I'm sure it made the national news, but it really would have been cool to have been watching Doctor Who that night, and then all of a sudden to have that bust in. That would have definitely made for an interesting conversation the following day at my Doctor Who fan club meeting.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, the fact that it cut into Doctor Who, you think would have given it a lot of notoriety.
Yeah, I
But
saw it on the
remember,
news.
back then there was no internet. There was no, we got to remember back then news couldn't spread, so it only happened in Chicago. So even though it interfered with Doctor Who, there wasn't like an online Doctor Who community. You see what I'm saying?
Here's a little for people that don't know about Max Headroom. I might as well go ahead and play this thing here. I guess I should have done that before I showed that bit,
Hold on a second. Vivian needs to know what we're talking about.
Huh?
Hold on a second. Vivian wants to know what we're talking about.
Oh, shoot. We're talking about the whole Max Headroom hack of 1987, where during a Chicago WGN broadcast, this guy wore a Max Headroom mask and did a weird broadcast. He basically talked down the WGN station, telling them how they're subversive. What did he say?
I don't know. I couldn't read it. It was in yellow against that background, and it didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, I see. Well, that thank goodness for replay. Then anything you guys missed, you can go back in and see later and stuff like that. So I don't know. I will show it again. I guess I could show it again. I could show it. I could show it again here. But let me show you guys some Max Headroom bits for those of you who may not know who even Max Headroom is. So let me go there. Here's this.
And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television. And there's more, because you are
I don't
going to
remember
see it
him.
as well. Yes, it. Yes, it. Yes, namely.
Where's his sunglasses?
Story.
He didn't always wear
That
sunglasses.
is directly following. I want to talk to you about something even bigger, namely my Max Headroom. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy my film.
Warum haben die Deutschen so eine
Okay. Anyway, that was just a little brief history of Max Headroom himself, and Now I'll show this clip so that Vivian knows what we're all talking about.
Nothing had been done like this before.
Oh,
What we were dealing with here was something which was anti.
never mind. Wrong thing. Okay, so skip that. I'm not doing that then.
Autumn Lee said he hijacked this station like the Joker.
Yeah.
And Michael Fontaine said he's a big fan of Matt Frewer, who played Max Headroom. Just keeping up with the chat. Carry on.
Oh, no, I'm done pretty much with that. I just want to know what y'all thought.
Yeah, it's definitely wild. Like I said, I heard about it before, years ago when I researched. So it didn't really shock me or surprise me, but yeah, it was wild that he managed to hijack a PBS station. But then, like I said, if he worked at the station, it wouldn't have been that hard to do.
Hey, Armor, can you do me a favor?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
Never heard you ask though. What's up?
No, I've sent the other thing I want to talk about is in our Shifty Sunday hangouts. Could you go and bring that? I want to talk the one with what's his name again? Randy Quaid.
The video?
Yeah.
YouTube video?
Yeah.
All right. 1 second.
Randy Quaid and his wife Evie told their bizarre story of fleeing the Hollywood Mafia exclusively today to ABC's Good Morning America.
Wait. What's going on there?
Oh, no, wouldn't pause.
Oh, okay. But before you bring that up, though, I mean, go ahead and do it. But I want to talk about what I'm talking about, and that's is everybody's probably aware of. A lot of people are probably aware of. I won't say everybody, but a lot of people are aware of the certain people, not just Randy Quaid, but there's been a lot of people who have left Hollywood and disappeared, and Randy Quaid was one of those people that everyone thought was crazy because of some of the things he was talking about. And I'll go ahead and put this up here. There you go. It's up there. If you would go ahead and play that, and then
all right, you want me to play the whole 6 minutes? Or you can just tell me when to stop if you want, but I'll play it. Yeah, and this is something else I came across a long, long time. I remember when he actually did this. So, yeah, this is very interesting. And it ties into a lot of, stuff. But go ahead, I'll play it now.
All right, cool.
Randy Quaid and his wife Evie told their bizarre story of fleeing the Hollywood Mafia exclusively today to ABC's Good Morning America.
I genuinely feel like these people are trying to kill us.
It's a twisted story of a misunderstood Hollywood couple. Randy, who is the older brother of actor Dennis Quaid, has been in the movie business for over 40 years. That is, until he and wife Evie fled Hollywood for Canada, seeking refuge from quote-unquote star whackers.
He had a decent career. He's a Golden Globe winner. He can definitely find work.
For a second.
Everything has just gone screw.
I just realized this is going through CNN, so this might not. This might get taken down the next day or so.
Yeah, that's why I said, did you want me to run it all? Because I seen it was CNN. But hey, if it's going to get taken down, it's already going to get taken down. So you might as well roll.
Well, let me go ahead and put this up here. Hold on. But I wanted to talk about this because basically Randy Quaid a long time ago, before everything got blown up. Hold on, Armor.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. It was way before everything actually got why am I putting it on here? Not my I got to put it on my personal one. Basically, he was talking about Hollywood, a sort of like Hollywood hit squad type of thing, and it was talking about the mystery of certain Hollywood people's deaths. You can take that down now if you want to. Hollywood deaths, and it was talking about sort of like, oh, we were talking about it earlier. I was telling Raven, I said that this sort of ties into a lot of stuff that a lot of people who aren't into the truther communities will just look and shrug their head, say, oh, that person died of drugs, or that person hung themselves, or that person was murdered by another rapper. And it just sort of, when you look at it through a truther's eyes, like I have, it's sort of like you could tell that these are obvious cover-ups for these people's deaths. I mean, especially
Quaid joins us now exclusively from Vancouver, Canada.
But like, and it got me to thinking, Marilyn Monroe, who was obviously involved in Kennedy, and Kennedy, who was obviously involved with the mafia, and the mafia, who were obviously assassins of both President Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy as well. And then, you tie that in, and Marilyn Monroe basically was involved with both the brothers, and she knew a lot of secrets. And I think that's definitely one of the reasons why she was killed. And I think she was killed, and it was made to look like a suicide / drug overdose type thing. And then you look at other celebrities like Robin Williams, who supposedly hung himself. I think all that was a cover up as well. Maybe Robin Williams either knew something or he did something that they didn't agree with, and they were trying to hide it out, or maybe he was trying to tell people what was going on in Hollywood, kind of just, and it all really, when you think about the whole Isaac Cappy situation, where he supposedly committed suicide by jumping off that bridge, it all kind of, it makes you think, is what I'm saying. It makes you think, a lot of people like to write Randy Quaid off like he's crazy. And I think that that's exactly what they want us to believe, that he is crazy. And so they make him look crazier by showing him and compromising positions and all scruffy looking with the long beard and talking about aliens and yada, yada, yada. But, I think actually Randy Quaid might have been on to something. And he even talks about the people that have hung themselves and stuff like that. He even talks about, I think at the time he was talking about good old, well, help me out here, Armor. What's his name?
Which one? There's been so many. I mean, there was David Carradine, like Michael Fontaine just said. There's been the singers lately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. And one thing about that, if you notice, it's always a red scarf or a red exercise band or a red something that they hang themselves with. Quite a coincidence. Yeah, and if you think about it, I mean, this could be a bit of a stretch, but I don't think it's a big stretch. If you think back to the Manson gang, they basically, I mean, with what's been uncovered now, basically they were paid to put out a hit on Tate, who was a star. So, I mean, one could think of the Manson gang as a bunch of star whackers that went a little too whacked out. You know what I mean? Got a little out of control. Maybe didn't quite do what they were supposed to do. Either way, there was a star involved in that murder, so ties into star whacking, sort of. Although now I'm much better at it.
Hasn't it come out now that her husband is a pedophile?
Oh well, yeah. and he still gets praised by the community. That's why he's never come back to America. He's a known convicted pedophile that ran away to escape justice. I mean, yet he gets Oscars. They stand and they clap and they treat the man like an idol. He's a friggin' registered pedophile. He's a piece of crap. He needs prayers. He's far from something to be looked up to. And he had his wife murdered, in my opinion. So, pregnant wife murdered, let's add.
Yeah, I think that was what happened too.
We could go real deep into blood and sacrifice and unborn children and all that. But yeah, I mean, that was obviously more than what we were led to believe. Helter Skelter and all that really was. It was not about anything we were ever taught.
You can see here, I should have put this up before you played that video, but you can see here, Fair Use Act allows us to show videos of any kind of any nature as long as they are being done under the Fair Use Act, which I believe in this case would be education purposes. So I should have put this up before, but go ahead, man. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this. The Hollywood Whack Squad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the really kind of the first I've heard of it, to be honest with you. Every now and again, I mean, I knew about the Charles Manson thing, but I never heard it called the Hollywood Hack Squad. What is it called?
Well, Randy Quaid's the one that coined that. He said he was running from star whackers. That's why he fled America to Canada. He actually was a fugitive. I don't remember how long ago, but he finally got the judge threw the case out. But he was a fugitive, and he said he was running because he was threatened by the star whackers. They were going to kill him because he basically said there was people in Hollywood that was paid to kill stars. He called them star whackers. It was just the term he coined. Manson and them were never called that. I'm just saying there was a star involved in who they killed. So,
okay. Now I get it.
Called star whackers. No, Randy Quaid invented star whackers decades later.
All right, so that was kind of my bad because I was on another page, kind of half listening there for a minute, and I was trying to catch back up. So I apologize. Has there been any other people who stood, like, once he came out and said that, did anybody else say, yeah, I mean, there had to have been other people that either supported his notion or theory, or people, I'm sure it wasn't just him only that came out with it, right?
Well, there's been a lot of stars who have quit Hollywood for various reasons. And most of them say, if you don't play the game, then they don't give you any roles. And playing the game might be what Randy's talking about. If you're not playing their game, then they can whack you or blackball you or whatever.
Right. Yeah, one way or another, they're going to find you. They're going to get you. I got you.
Right. Yeah, there's, Lindsay Lohan, I don't know, I'm probably not saying her name right, but she said in an interview that I caught one time, I think it was on ET, that she had been blackballed, and that was before she sort of went berserk. And she says that her getting blackballed was why she went berserk. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what she said.
Right. I heard a similar story about Shaquille O'Neal too, that he didn't want to participate in certain parties and stuff when he first arrived. He was real reluctant to join the order, so to speak.
It just caught my attention, and this kind of blows my mind a little bit also. And me and Raven was talking about this earlier in chat, or not in chat, but in our yeah. we were talking about, I brought up Bruce Lee's mysterious death, and she brought up the fact that Bruce Lee was trying to teach Americans the secret ancient art of the secret martial arts, and there's a lot of Asians, an Asian community, and Asian like high authorities, like I don't know what they call the Asian mafia, but there was a lot of people that were in the Asian community, whatever you want to call it, the culture, I should say, that did not at the time, that were in I should say the martial arts community or whatever, that did not approve of. You okay over there? Hello?
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Sound like you're rattling some papers or something. Oh.
It's my cat.
Oh, okay. Speaking of cats, yeah, we were just talking about cats. But they frowned upon white people being taught the martial arts. And I think they even told Bruce Lee at one time, do not teach these people martial arts. You're gonna, because he was doing it. I think he had a dojo open at one time, and they came in and told him, you're going to have to shut this down. You cannot be teaching white people our secret martial arts. They frowned upon that, and they basically threatened him. No, nobody knows if it death threat or whatever, but most likely it was. And he said, I will teach anybody who's willing to learn the martial arts, basically. And you can't tell me who I will and will not teach. And so that probably started his mysterious death. And then after he was killed, his several years later, when his son was a grown man, Brandon Lee was in that movie The Crow, and supposedly somebody had replaced a prop gun with a real gun, real bullets in it. And he went, or it was a real gun. It was supposed to be a real gun with blanks, I guess. And he picked up the real gun that had some real bullets in it. Or not him, I'm sorry, the person that was supposed to be shooting at him in the movie had shot him with a real bullet. And that one was kind of mysterious as well. It's like, well, I'm not really sure if I have any idea of why that happened. Maybe it was a sort of the same kind of people, like teaching him, you will pay for your father's sins or something like that, I guess. But it just blew my mind away when Raven mentioned that, because it got me to thinking, oh yeah, there was a lot of martial arts people who were Asian, different Asian cultures that didn't like white people and didn't want them learning the ways of the martial arts,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a thing. I mean, it's I think it's more than just wanting them not wanting them to teach us the martial arts. They just didn't want they were afraid we were going to not protect the sanctity and the purity and the spiritual guidance that all comes along with learning the moves. I mean, you always,
right.
Our culture has always been known for kind of like taking what we want out of it and then just throwing away the rest. And I think that they're just wanting to preserve their ideologies and their spiritual beliefs. And I think they kind of feel like the martial arts kind of go hand in hand with a lot of their old, their ancient history and culture and the way
right.
they see things, and they just don't want to see it become, Americanized and watered down and turned into something that it's not. I think it's more of a case of that and less of them just not liking, wanting white people to know the moves. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, and that's what I meant. The whole culture. I didn't mean just the moves. You
Yeah.
misunderstand me on that point, I think.
Yeah.
But you got to remember something. Bruce Lee, when he would teach people, he would only teach certain people, and he would teach them the whole spiritual side of it too. Like he wouldn't just teach them like, oh, I'm going to teach you karate, but he would also teach them karate would be a way of defending yourself, but also using your physical environment around you to bring peace to your inner being. He didn't just take a
Yeah,
guy and say,
he introduced the term chi and the whole energy in your body. I think he was also famous for that 1-inch punch that would still, like, he would only move his fist 1 inch, yet it would have like the power of a full punch. Have you ever seen that footage? Do you know what I'm talking about?
oh sure, and that's where what's his name, Quentin Tarantino come up with the idea when he did the Kill Bill movies of the 1-inch punch, because he would show her using the 1-inch punch to break through the coffin. Remember that?
Okay, yeah, I do kind of vaguely remember that, but I remember seeing a long time ago. I don't know if this is true or not. This might just be a deep fake, but it was Bruce Lee. They gave him some ping pong paddles and had him go against like a ping pong champion, and he was doing like his karate to like rebuttal the ping pong guy. I mean, it's a famous video. It's been all over YouTube. Have you guys seen this?
Do what now?
Where he's doing his karate against he's doing it playing ping pong.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I'll look it up real quick, see if I can find it. Hold on.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Just remind me to put that.
Don't forget the main reason. I mean, I've heard all the theories that you guys, like the one you said about the Chinese mafia. I forget what they're called now off the top of my head, but basically the Chinese mafia in America taking Bruce Lee out. But it wasn't so much that he was teaching Americans. That was a part of it. But the main thing was he created his own style. He mixed two different types of styles. He created his own. That's what they were mad about. Not so much that he was teaching American. For them, he polluted the whole thing by creating his own, by thinking he was good enough to create his own style, basically. That's basically another theory that I heard a long time ago that makes more sense. They were mad to create his own style. Not so much that he basically broke from their traditions and made his own. Although they were their traditions, he just combined them. It's sort of hard to explain.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think there was a lot going on with politics in general back then that we're unaware of today, between as far as like being an Asian actor on American TV screens and stuff like that. That was kind of like he was breaking boundaries, setting new just the fact that he was getting to come over and make these movies in itself was controversial. And then you take into consideration all that other stuff on top of it. It really was amazing how much he was able to accomplish and how much he actually did get away with based on how truly talented he was. He was a one of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, exactly. That's what it was. He was breaking like all kind of, he was basically a heretic to those people. Be the easy way to put it in our type of understanding. He went against everything they believe in. Like you said, making movies, commercializing the trade, creating his own style. I mean, he broke all kind of rules.
Did you get that brought up, Hebrew? Did you see it in Shifty Sunday?
I'm trying to, but it's not letting me. Hold on. Did something weird here. You guys still there?
Yeah. You haven't fell out of the stream yet.
Still here.
Okay, I got so many things here on my tabs. Hold on. I think this is it here. No. 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 Dang it, I lost it. All right. Let me go back. Armor, can you bring that up?
Yeah, no sweat. One second.
Okay. Thanks, man. I know no one else can really do it because they're on their whatchamadoodles.
Yeah, you might want to turn the audio down before you start it because I don't know what it's going to sound like. And it's more of the visual than it is the audio, I think.
All right, let me know if you're sharing.
All right, let me get it
Now,
up.
as far as I know, this is real footage, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure.
All right, it's up there. Yeah, somebody walked in the way. Oh, wow. He's using a nunchuck.
Wow.
Whoa. Oh. I got it. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Look at this. Whack. Man. And do you see that yellow suit that he's wearing there? Well, it didn't show it the color, but he wears that yellow jumpsuit with the black stripe down it, he wears that. That's another thing that Quentin Caratino yeah, you know what I'm. That's another thing he borrowed from the Bruce Lee stuff is that yellow jumpsuit.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. I never made that connection before. Who was it again that did that?
You would make me say that again. Quentin damn it.
Okay, that guy. I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Makes it sound like I'm saying a bad word. Quarantino. Oh boy. Caratino.
Yeah, you sound like me trying to say Leonardo the crap. Wow, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the crappy. What? It's Tarantino? I thought it was.
Yeah, that's.
What am I?
No, it's because his first name's Clinton.
Oh, I was mixing the two names together. Okay. That's what I was doing wrong.
So you earlier mentioning the Max Headroom back in the 80s and him pirating the airwaves got me remembering thinking about the DB Cooper thing. I'm sure you're familiar with that to some degree.
Yeah, that guy stole all that money from the bank and then he got on the plane and then jumped off the plane and was never seen again. He disappeared. I think he was the only one to successfully disappear with that some amount of money and to never be found again.
Yeah, and none of the money's been found either.
Yeah.
It's never spent. I think we lost Saggy.
Uh-oh. Maybe he went off looking for that information. Because he's still in the room. So I don't know.
Information.
Oh yeah, I thought I said information. What did I say? Oh crap! He did disappear. You're right, Raven. Maybe he shifted.
I'm always right.
Okay.
Well, with this crew, she's got that right.
No, actually, I have no idea anytime, so I'm never right about anything.
Well,
in truth be known, I wouldn't want to be right about everything.
Hey, they're telling you in chat to use phonics and clap it out. Like Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't have the
Bible. That would work in the Bible too. You could say Melchizedek instead of trying to say Melchizedek.
Oh.
And Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. Got to clap. Don't forget to clap.
Oh, okay.
Zachy wants in. Let him in.
Hold on a second. I can't find myself. Where am I?
You ask us like we would have a clue.
Hold on. Okay, here he is.
Welcome back,
All right,
Zach.
yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I went to try to bring up an image I was going to share while I was talking, and somehow I got myself kicked out. But yeah, I mentioned DB Cooper, and I really wasn't trying to go down the DB Cooper rabbit hole per se. I mean, he was unique in the sense that he hijacked that plane. He had it going over Washington State, and yeah, he jumped out with a couple suitcases full of money and was never heard from or seen since. But and that is an interesting tale, mind you. And but what's really interesting when you look back on that day and that time is not so much just his particular story, but the fact that so many planes were being hijacked, that it was actually like it became a thing. Like I brought up an article here from that kind of talks about this golden age of plane hijacking. And it's about go back to the year 1969. There were 86 hijackings in 12 months, according to the statistics from the Aviation Safety Network. Can you guys hear me?
Wants to share it. I got it up.
Okay. In 5 years between 1968 and 1972, more than 130 aircraft were hijacked in the U.S. alone, sometimes two on the same day. The startling regularity of seizures at 3,600 feet led to an era being dubbed the golden age of hijacking. And who was to blame? Broadly speaking, it was Cuba. So keen were some to share in the bounty of the Cuban Revolution of the 50s that they were prepared to take over a plane and direct it south to the island, some 90 miles off the Florida coast. So basically, Take Me to Cuba soon became the satirical lexicon. Monty Python, among others, create skits based on this theme. It actually got to a point where the U.S. government was going to hire Hollywood to create a set on an island near Cuba to make it look just like the Cuban airport, so that the people who said "Take me to Cuba" would think that they're landing in Cuba, but really it would just be a set that they created because they were having so many planes, people saying "Take me to Cuba." DB Cooper was just one of the first people to say, also, I want 2 suitcases full of money. Most people never really thought they could pull that off. You know, they would just be on the plane and they'd get the idea. They'd say, I have a bomb, take me to Cuba. And then hopes that, you know, when they get there that Fidel Castro or whoever would welcome them to in their story as to why they decided to come to Cuba. Time Magazine actually ran a piece titled "What to Do When the Hijacker Comes," revealing that in the past 11 months, more than 1,000 Americans have visited Cuba unexpectedly. For travelers, the plane hijacking meant a diversion to Havana, a lengthy delay, but not much else. For pilots, they had in their cockpit maps of the Caribbean and knew the routine off by heart. Most hijackers earnestly believed that upon reaching Havana, their sole destination during the mid to late 60s, they would be greeted as revolutionary heroes, he wrote. Every skyjacker was an optimist at heart, supremely confident that his story would be the one to touch Castro's heart. And before long, U.S. government decided enough was enough, and they actually began tasking FAA was tasked with tackling the problem, not least because Fidel Castro was charging American Airlines $7,500 a pop to retrieve their airplanes. The FAA was initially unsure on what could be done as they started having Senate hearings about it. I mean, it's not like these people were pulling out guns and holding them and threatening people's lives. They were just basically just getting away with saying that they had a bomb and they wanted to go to Cuba, and that's all you really had to do. And next stop, you'd be in Havana. I mean, it really became a thing where people just felt like they could get away with it, and it seems like there for a while they did. And then you get to the DB Cooper story. This was probably at the tail end of the whole thing, and like I said, he was one of the few who demanded cash. He demanded $200,000 before parachuting out of the back of the 727, and he was never found. And the FBI only recently gave up on the case. But I don't know. In today's day and age, you couldn't imagine somebody having the nerve to hijack a plane, and in light of September 11th especially. But just to think that back in that time that it was really kind of like just a cultural thing that people felt they could do. I mean, it really shows you how much things have changed. Any comments or feedback on that, guys?
Really, it goes kind of back to the train robberies of the 1800s. There's a lot of people that would rob trains and would take in most cases, they wouldn't have the guy take the money out of the safe. They would just grab the safe and jump off the train. There was a lot of cases like that. And actually, when I first heard you talking about DB Cooper, I was thinking for some reason that he had robbed a train just weeks before that. And I was thinking that was part of the whole cash, that it wasn't just all cash, but it was bonds and what are those things that are on paper, CDs or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure. As far as I know, he just wanted $200,000 in cash, which to us really don't seem like a whole lot, but back then that was a lot of money.
Now, who? Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was going to say that was definitely a thing back in the day. I remember that growing up. That's where they started putting air marshals on the planes, and that's why it became illegal to say bomb. You say bomb on an airplane, they flip out. That's all because of that. But yeah, that did happen back in the day. At least that's what the mainstream told us. I mean, knowing what we know now, who knows? But yeah, the news was always a plane hijacked to Cuba. Plane hijacked to Cuba. It's like every other week practically.
Well, I mean, the plane was kind of considered more of like a smoker's lounge with wings on it. I mean, it really wasn't like it wasn't the the way you go in, the way people are treated at airports and on an airplane now, where you're stuffed in and people, there's all that nervous anxiety and you're afraid to talk to anybody and you're looking over your shoulder for, to make sure you're not going to, be, all the screening, and it's just a really uptight, not pleasant experience. Back then, that people got on airplanes, they smoked cigarettes, everybody kind of like ordered drinks, and they carried on like they were in a bar or something, more than they acted like it was a big anxiety, stressful. It was the opposite. It was a real casual affair with where people just kind of let go and acted like they were in a bar but they were flying.
Why do I have a memory of D.B. Cooper robbing a train? Who was the last person to ever rob a train in America?
I don't know.
I think that would be something worthwhile looking into one of these times, because it seems like I saw a documentary a while back about the train robberies and how they took place, and they weren't exactly like people think. Like you see an old Western or something like that, and they ride up on horses with masks and stuff like that, and get on there and put the gun to the conductor and say, "Give me all your money." I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that would be something we could look into, but I don't know. I was just wanting to just make sure it just seems like it was just a whole different day and age, the way society conforms into seeing, becoming one thing when it used to be another. That's a great example of it right there, guys.
I can answer your train question. I looked it up.
All right, who is it?
Henry Lorenz Lofus, born in 1915, and Harry Dwyer Donaldson, born in 1910, were two young men who made national headlines for their unsuccessful attempt to rob the Southern Pacific Railroad's Apache Limited in 1937, the last major train robbery in the United States. The two have been referred to as the last of America's classic train robbers. There you go.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
That's the rest of the story.
Right. Speaking of
that's from Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt.
Right. Yeah, they tend to make stuff up all the time. I know that much.
That's because anybody can edit it.
Right. Speaking of news stories, man, I'm sure everyone in the audience is just dying to see your dog. By the way, but that we'll leave that up to you. But you do have a good news story, don't you?
I got 3 of them lined up.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I can show you my puppy. That's my good news this week. Come here. Come here, Swift. All right, I got to get my camera on. Hold on.
Cool.
Now I got to figure out which way's frontwards and backwards. I ain't good with these cameras.
There he is.
Look over here.
Hey, buddy.
You got a little white mohawk. Needs a haircut.
He's so adorable.
So there's my good news this week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right, help now. I also got my new Resist and Rescue 2020 shirt. It says on the bottom, pure and genuine religion in the sign of God, the Father, means caring for orphans and widows in their distress and refusing to let the world corrupt you. That's James 1:27. All right, camera off. We're done with that thing.
Awesome.
Goodbye.
Okay. Well, that was cool, man. We were talking. I want to briefly ask you a question. Did you catch Thirsty Thursday this week? I know you've been busy and whatnot, but did you catch it?
No, I'm 2 weeks behind, and I haven't made it through to this week's Thirsty Thursday yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I did.
So far behind in video.
I did something sort of different in my Thirsty Thursday Bible readings. I had other people reading Bible passages, and guess what? You were an unwilling, unknowing participant on my Thirsty Thursday. I showed one of your Bible readings.
Awesome. From what? John? James? 1st, 2nd Peter? Which one do you share? I got lots of them out there.
John verses 1.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's a good one.
It kind of tied in.
And also, I had other super good news this week is my daughter's home and safe, and some of you privately know what that's all about. So that was the best news this week. And I got a new puppy, but unfortunately now I have no vehicle. All my vehicles are broke. So but you got to take the good with the bad. You know what I mean? Speaking of good, let's see what first one we're going to read. Let me see.
I was going to say, you got to take the good, you take the bad, you take them both in there. You have the facts of life.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we'll start with.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were still bringing it up.
Now, go ahead. What you want to say?
I was just going to say real quick. I was looking at chat, and from where we were talking earlier, I had it, and then I just lost it. Michael Fontaine had just commented he had $200,000 and lost a couple of bundles of it as he backed out or did a night drop. I think he landed in Canada. It's hard to say if the money washed ashore or fell in sand. And then Lorraine Lamore said they think they found some bills years later, but he wasn't dressed for the cold or the altitude. And then so Sally said, "What a cute, fluffy dog." Talking about your dog. Lorraine Lamore says he needs a haircut, and so does the dog.
Bada boom. Yeah, I seen. I was just gonna say that one. Yeah, then I get a haircut once a year. My wife does it. I cut all my hair off my beard, and then I grow it in for the winter because I need my winter wool. But yep, I'll be getting a haircut soon. You won't recognize me. As soon as it gets humid, it's out. All hair must go.
And CJ was asking if we're going to take calls. I think we are after the news. I think Armor has the number up. And go ahead, Armor. I didn't mean to delay your news any longer than I had to.
All right, no sweat. Yeah, and I've seen people ask about his name. I don't know what his name is yet. I call him Swiffer because he's like a Swiffer sweeper, but the wife gets to pick whatever name she wants. I always call my dogs different than the rest of the family. So his name's Swiffer to me. I don't know what they're going to call him. Okay, the first one is, let me share.
Okay,
let me know when you're sharing.
There you go.
Okay, when family's van runs out of gas, first responders push it all the way to a nearby station and pay for the refill. These compassionate Florida firefighters are being hailed. See, I knew I should have put my glasses on. Hold on. I can't read that way. All right, there we go. These compassionate Florida firefighters are being hailed for going above and beyond the call of duty to help a family in need following a medical emergency. Captain Dennis Noble and firefighters Joe Clark and Dwayne Norman were just a few of the first responders who rushed to the rescue of a family of four whose minivan had run out of gas while driving to the hospital. Since one of the family members had been experiencing a medical emergency at the time, paramedics treated them on site before transporting them to the hospital. However, this left the rest of the family stranded on the side of the road with a quickly deflating tire, an empty tank of gas, and no money to fill it up. Noble, Norman, and Clark then took it upon themselves to push the minivan a quarter of a mile to the nearest gas station. Not only that, they paid to fill up the van and fix the leaking tire. The Hernando County Fire Rescue, HCFR, later published a photo of the three Good Samaritans pushing the vehicle to social media in order to praise them for their kindness. This truly exemplifies the meaning of why HCFR exists, to serve others, they wrote. There you go. That's the first good news. I mean, if your captain's name's Noble, you're going to have to go above and beyond, I would think, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, next, get a sip of coffee.
Unless your captain's name is Noble SD, then I don't see that happening.
Oh, I don't know.
No, he knows I'm joking.
Next we got, okay, we'll do this one.
You're up and running.
Right. You want to help bees? Leave the dandelions alone this spring. If you ever wanted to help dwindling honeybee populations, ecologists are encouraging that you learn to love weeds and leave the dandelions alone this coming spring. At the start of her tenure as the new president of the oldest ecological society in the world, Jane Memott reminded everyone last week that working to live in harmony with nature can be as simple as keeping your lawn pollinator friendly. The Bristol University professor admitted she mows around the dandelions and buttercups when she cuts her grass, because you can't personally help tigers, whales, and elephants, but you really can do something for the insects, birds, and plants that are local to you. Think about what you've had for breakfast, she began. The pumpkin seeds in your muesli, whatever that is, I didn't have that for breakfast. Apples, whatever made the marmalade on your toast, or even the coffee beans, there you go, and tea leaves that make up your morning cuppa. All of these products rely on pollinators to survive and thrive. The new leader of the British Ecological Society dismissed as silly the origins of lawn fussiness, and most people in America can relate with what she sees in England. This whole business of keeping your lawn clipped and pulling the weeds out is part of some British obsession with tidiness. Yeah, same way in America, not here. Whether you have a community allotment, a balcony garden, a front or back garden and lawn, or simply a potted plant, the choice of plants you make can have an impact on your local ecology. Mehmet explains a few general rules for planting pollinators, namely that one should learn to love weeds. Avoid planting too many pom-pom shaped flowers that focus too much energy into petal production and not enough into producing nectar and pollen. She says that any plant with nectar and pollen parts that you can see without pulling back the petals means that pollinators can see and use them too. Dandelions are fantastic for early season pollinators. The UK has about 270 species of solitary bee, and they love dandelions. She explains, adding later that if they were rare, people would be fighting over them. Interacting with ecology in everyday life is the kind of thing Vermont knows can benefit people as well. There's a mound of scientific evidence to support claims she makes that if you act charitably towards nature, it will repay your kindness many times over. For instance, a massive study found that people who spend at least 120 minutes per week visiting natural settings, such as parks, woodlands, and beaches, are significantly more likely to have good health and higher psychological well-being. Ah, that's why I'm so good. I go to the woods all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Another case control study found that self-esteem, mood, and confidence were all improved, some significantly, by gardening in the UK. And that's why my wife's awesome. She's constantly gardening. A Summer on Well-Being from wildlifetrust.org found that being present in various natural settings, from a room with several houseplants to raw wilderness, can lead to reductions in stress and anxiety, improvements in well-being and mood, improvements to immunity, attentiveness and physical fitness, reductions in symptoms of ADHD in children, and even criminal activity. And I must say, it will definitely bring you much closer to the Father. So I highly recommend it. There's your second news story.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't have any problems keeping my dandelions, because I'll tell you what, not because I'm into reserving flower life or anything like that. It's just I'm too lazy to pick those suckers. So there you go. I'm contributing. Yay.
Yep, and we don't mow around here. Like I said, my wife gardens constantly, so we weed eat little paths around the garden, but all flowers stay here. We got lots of bees, lots of birds, lots of everything. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bees are definitely falling off, so we definitely need to help them. We lose our bees, it's over. I mean, I don't think people realize how important bees are. They are like very, very important to everything. Okay, now let me get a drink of coffee. Get this last story in.
Is that coffee black?
Still a man.
Oh, okay, cool. Just wanting to know. Just testing. All right, here we go.
All right, a dementia-friendly dance class restores strength and happiness to seniors fighting Alzheimer's. In this volunteer-run partner dance class, seniors suffering from dementia are able to regain a little bit of their former selves with every step. At the Ballroom of Reno in Nevada, dozens of Alzheimer patients and their partners are able to attend dementia-friendly dance classes that teach everything from swing dancing to waltz. Not only do the classes help bring the seniors out of isolation, they also offer a number of physical and cognitive benefits, which collectively make the perfect combination for brain growth, class instructor Desiree Reed told Colo News. Ballroom dancing, specifically partner dancing, it grounds them and says, "This is here, this is now," she added. It gives us more cognitive function, paired with the physical connection with people's hands and music to solidify all of those things we learn. Whether the attendees are taking the classes to prevent dementia symptoms or simply to fight memory loss and cognitive decline, the classes have already had a dramatic impact on the participants. It changes everyone's personality, one of the elderly dancers told the news outlet in the interview below. Everyone is very subdued when they come in, and the minute the music starts, everyone is happy. Everyone's having a good time, so it's like you just put an hour of the disease behind. This is not the first time that dancing has been shown to combat Alzheimer's and senior isolation, which is why the class instructors are hoping to recruit additional volunteers to help offer more dementia-friendly dance classes at the Ballroom of Reno. All right, we have a news story. Hopefully we won't get busted. Here we go.
Right.
Well, building memories through dance. With age, of course, comes a certain amount of loss.
Yeah, the local dance class is helping people with dementia reconnect with not only themselves, but with their life partners.
From the cha-cha to the waltz, dance is a part of human nature.
We joke that everyone's born with rhythm. As long as you have a heartbeat and 2 feet, you can dance.
And at Ballroom of Reno, they're proving just how beneficial it can be.
The hands, and walk around the other side.
Everyone here impacted in some way by dementia or Alzheimer's.
And ballroom dancing, specifically partner dancing, the physical touch is community with another person. It also grounds them to say, this is here, this is now.
And everything from movement and physical touch to the music, making an impact on their lives.
It changes everybody's personality. Everybody is kind of like really subdued when they first come in. And the minute the music starts, everybody's happy. It's like you just put an hour of this disease behind.
Some are here for prevention. Others, like Ron and Donna Brown, are here as therapy.
A guy that has no rhythm, turning out nice, I think.
Yeah,
And
we're having fun.
it's just fun.
5, 6, 7, 8.
After the first couple of days, his balance was getting better because he has balance issues, and walking was easier, and just being jovial was easier.
That, paired with learning something new, helps connect new pathways to the brain.
It gives us more cognitive function, and paired with physical connection with other people's hands and music to help solidify all of those things we learn. You have the perfect combination for brain growth.
For spouses, this class can bring back their partner. For others like Donna and Ron, it's giving them new memories, something to hold on to as Ron's Alzheimer's progresses.
It's very bonding. When they first started the cuddle position, that's when he would reach over and kiss me.
The two even dancing in their home during a blackout, something they never did before. With each step and touch, a piece of these dancers' old selves comes back. The classes are held every Wednesday.
I'll tell you what, man, that's some really good news.
That's our good news this week.
It always does good to, like, I always know, at least for me, it's so relaxing just to put on music and forget about all your worries. You know, it's really good.
Yeah, I think she said the only thing required is a heart and 2 feet. And I was like, man, I almost qualified because I have a heart and 2 left feet.
Right? Yeah.
Well, she didn't say they had to be 2 right or left feet, so you can still do it. You just got to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Swing your own way, brother. Swing your own way.
I'll tell you, in my car, it seems like it even makes the driving better. I set my phone up on the this thing I've got. I put it up there, and I tell the phone before I start out of the driveway, mind you, I'll say, play me this playlist of songs, or I have playlists, you know, and then I just have it playing the whole time I'm driving. And I feel that it, even though a lot of it's heavy metal, I feel like it calms my nerves down to the point where if I do get road rage, it just kind of melts that road rage away. That's easy for me to say.
So this would make for an interesting experiment, because like you mentioned that it's more often than not like heavy metal, and for whatever reason it works, and I believe me, I bet it does. But it would be an interesting concept to see if you like played some easy listening music, if that would just create more rage. If by the time you're halfway home, you're cutting people off, flipping people the bird, yelling at every traffic light, and then you switch back to the heavy metal and it calms you back down again. I'm just saying it might make for an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I often get very angry when I listen to Lyle Richard. Lyle. Am I saying that right?
Lionel Richie.
Lino, sorry. I caught myself just as I did it. Thank you, Raven.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure Kenny G really triggers you as well.
Oh, Kenny G really boils my Italian blood.
You need to listen to some opera then.
Oh, now that would send me in a rage of a murderous rage. So let's not go there.
Why? It's very Italian.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'd rather listen to Bohemia Rhapsody. Oh man, I can't talk tonight. Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian Rhapsody. There we go.
Now try to say it with an Italian accent.
Yeah, there you go. Oh gosh, do I have to? Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh wait, that sounds more like a vampire. Never mind.
Sounds like a vampire.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh.
But all kidding aside, that dementia and Alzheimer's, man, it isn't no joke. It's one of the. It's really sad. I mean, it's one thing to see it like in a movie or a friend of a friend, but when you actually are sitting down face to face in front of somebody that you know and you love and you cared about your whole life, and they're remembering you as some childhood friend or somebody that is not you at all.
Yeah.
It's just it really makes your heart sink down in your stomach. It's one of those things where you almost feel like sadder than you would feel had they passed, because it's even sadder that they're sitting there right there in front of you, but yet still don't know who they're talking to. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here. I'm just saying that last good news was probably the most moving for me, and I can see how the dancing thing would actually kind of be therapeutic for them if they're able to do that.
Yeah, and it's my wife's grandpa had dementia, and he would often, sometimes me and him would sit down, we have a conversation, and it'd be like a normal conversation, and I could tell he was all there and stuff, and then but it's like for the family who of course knew him and knew him well, knew how he was, that was there with him day in and day out, and I'm sure they had a hard time dealing with it. But it seemed like every time I would talk to him, he was always in there. But he had, my wife would tell me stories about him seeing like raccoons coming out of the walls, and like he would. I don't know if it was so much that he would forget people or their names or whatever, because he seemed like he had a good grip on people's names and stuff, but I think he would forget sometimes like where he was. And I think one time he got out of the house and was wandering off and stuff, but thank goodness, it wasn't cold or anything like that. But yeah, it could be a difficult thing, man. My grandma's sister had dementia as well, and they said when they would go and visit her, she didn't know who they were, so that or they would think that they were, like, I think she thought my grandma was her mom at one point, and yeah, it's very disheartening. But the thing is, at the same time, the person that has the dementia doesn't even know what's going on. So in a way, I mean, for them, it's not as bad so much as it is for the family that's having to deal with it. You know what I mean? Does any of that make sense?
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they're not even aware that they're doing it. Yeah, you're right. But I still think that they feel like a sense of confusion, and I mean, obviously, if their mind isn't filling in the gaps properly, I think that they even know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to say it's all bad, but it's just one of those stories where anything you can do that creates a routine and creates an opportunity for somebody in that position to find some form of joy, that's a great thing. I really enjoyed that story, Armor. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the phone lines you got the phone lines open?
They should be open. Yep.
Okay, let me make sure this is the right number here. 720-835-5785. Is that it?
No.
Oh, I've had the wrong number up this whole time. Oh my gosh. Okay.
64559.
Wait, what?
The pin 64559.
Okay, 64599.
559.
Oh, 559. I'm sorry. Let's see here. 64. I think this is it here. So, anybody want to call in? Go ahead and make yourselves do that. In the meantime, I think we're going to go to a small commercial break, and we'll be right back. And by small commercial break, and by we, I mean me.
I just can't wait to hear the commercial.
Oh, the commercial is you guys talking amongst yourselves. Sorry.
I see.
That's always the commercial.
Yes, isn't it though? Well, I guess I'll start off by saying hi.
Hello.
Hi.
It's always these wonderful awkward moments that make this show so amazing.
It's what makes us special. Our special host. You must admit, you'll seldom get other live streams that the host just bails on it every week. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean it just becomes nomenclature because it's such a normal thing to have happen, you know. Have you I'm sure, did you see this in the headlines this week about Kirk Douglas passing away, Armor?
No, I didn't. And yeah, that's the right number, CJ. You have to try again. It's definitely the right 64559 is definitely my pin. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, apparently he was 102 years old.
103, I thought.
Yeah, 103. Okay. I knew it was up there. And then, of course, because a celebrity died on Twitterverse, there's people coming out saying they thought he had passed away already. But in this particular case, I kind of do remember, maybe not that he passed, but that he had a scare or something like that not too long ago.
Wait, slow down there, partner. Are you trying to tell me Kirk Douglas died again?
Is this a well, am I trying to tell you that Kirk Douglas died again? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Well, okay.
CJ says it's telling her it's the wrong pin, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's
All right. You got 8675309. Did you write that down?
Uh-oh, my eyes just blurred up. No, I want to get back to Kirk Douglas real quick before we get this pen thing straightened out. So I have a good, clear memory of him dying like 3 years ago.
Yeah, apparently there's a November or February 5th, 2017 date floating around on the internet as a possible date that he might have died. But I don't know. I mean, I guess we could ask the audience. Does anybody in the chat have a memory one way or the other on good old Kirk Douglas?
I remember him dying of throat cancer like 3 years ago. Who's Kirk Douglas?
Who's Kirk Douglas?
I guess I'll say it. Who's Kirk Douglas?
This call is being recorded.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we got a call.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to celebrities, but I thought Kirk Douglas died a while ago. But I don't know. But hey, Witch Claus, you are live. What do you think about old Kirk Douglas?
Am I live? I'm not
You're live.
right. Hold on, I got to turn the TV down because it's echoing. Y'all, it's lagging behind.
Oh, okay. Well, is this CJ?
Yeah, I thought Kirk Douglas died a couple of years ago myself. So I'm surprised about Kirk Douglas. But what I'm calling about is I had a minor Mandela effect on Friday night. Y'all want to hear about it?
Sure.
Mandela effect?
Yes.
Mandela
effect.
Yeah. Okay.
Wake up show.
Okay. So, okay. So
Really?
anyway, on Friday, I went to. They had this Star something, or Star Media or whatever. And they were looking for casting calls for Hollywood, and I just thought, what the heck? They sent me an email, and I thought, what the heck? So I went down there. It was at the Wellington in their banquet room, and it was raining. And I had this brand new sweater. I just put it on, and when I got inside, before I got inside, I took it off. And when I got inside, I realized and sat down. I realized that when I had taken it off, I turned it inside out. You know, the arms inside out, and there was mud caked on one of my sleeves. I mean, it was caked on there real thick, about 2 or 3 inches wide and 3 or 4 inches long, just solid mud. So I thought, oh boy. Anyway, I just left it off, and then after the auditions, I started to go back down, and I went to get down so I could wipe some of it off outside. It was perfectly clean, like it never happened. Perfectly looking brand new and everything. I checked both arms, inside, outside, every way. It had disappeared. And I mean, it was caked on there. So explain to me how that disappeared off of. I was nowhere where I could wash it off or wipe it off. It freaked me out.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I don't know. Saji, I don't know what you got going over
I
there,
mean,
man, but it's loud. Yeah, that would freak me out.
My voice is loud. Hold on. Is that better?
Oh, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, I had promised some friends I would meet them at a dance if I got out in time, and I did. And I went, and when I went down there, I was talking to them about it. I said, "Man, this whole sleeve was like one. It looked like a sleeve or a cuff of mud. You know what I mean? And it just disappeared, like it never even happened. And this was a black sweater, so." And I didn't wipe it off. I didn't wash it off. I didn't anything. And it looks like it was just brand new. And like I said, I checked it. I checked the whole sweater, nothing. And it was just weird. Where does all get out? So to me, that was a personal Mandela effect, because, you know, how can you, mud just doesn't disappear. You know what I mean? So anyway. But, oh gosh, there was something else I was going to tell y'all, and my brain is just not working today like it should be, because I heard the news that my ex is getting remarried on Valentine's Day. So I've been in a funk all day because I don't know why. I don't know why things affect us the way they do, but they do. So anyway. Well, I just wanted to call and tell y'all about that, and I know it's not a big thing, but to me it was just weird. So,
well, it's definitely.
Well,
weird.
you said that you were going on a casting call.
I was getting ready to ask her about that.
Did you get the casting call?
That's great.
No, they were looking for kids, and I went ahead and sang and read a script, you know, a little mini script for them. But no, they were looking for kids. Mostly, I think there was like 2 grown-ups there, but most of them were kids for commercials and Disney and stuff like that. But that's okay, because I'm in a great big production here at a local theater. We're doing the cast of Titanic the musical, and we're doing the Broadway version. So, you know, it's going to be like running for 10 weeks. It's going to be running for 1 month, every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with matinees on Saturday and Sunday. And it starts the 11th of April, and so I'm busy with that, like 3 days a week with rehearsals, because it's, there's a lot of singing, and I play a first class passenger named Edith Evans, and I dance and I sing. I sing about 7 songs, but I'm singing with everybody else. I'm not singing back, because the whole cast usually sings on most of it.
You mentioned you're doing the Broadway version. I mean, I assume that no matter which version, it always syncs. But does the character played by Leonardo DiCaprio, does he survive in the Broadway version?
No, he's not in the Broadway version. He's not in.
Okay.
They concentrate on other characters. Well, I mean, they have the main characters.
So how do they do the ending? What's the major difference? Can you elaborate?
Well, basically they don't go with all the showing the ship sinking or any of that, because we're on stage. But they're basically showing. We basically go through where the people are getting in the lifeboats, and how only about less than half of the people got out, and most of the third class passengers died, and most of the men died, except that there was one guy who took off in a rowboat with a whole rowboat by himself. It's a lot of singing and dancing, but you get the gist of the whole story. I mean, you laugh in it, you cry in it. It's kind of an overview of the whole thing about what happened, and really the reason that the Titanic sank was a combination of various different people. Like, for instance, they kept the guy with the telegraph kept telling them that they were being warned about an iceberg, and he ignored it. And then there was the guy that owned it. He was wanting them to go faster and faster and faster. And then there was the guy that built it who realized after it was going down the mistakes he had made and why it was sinking when it wasn't supposed to. So, but it's an awesome show. I wish you guys could see it. I will get a copy of it. I get a chance to buy a copy of us doing it on stage. I can't put it on Facebook though because of copyright. I can burn some CDs if anybody wants to watch it and send it to you. After it's over with. But I don't know. It's just how this copyright stuff is.
Well, it still sounds like a lot of fun and very exciting. I'm happy for you that you're in it.
Oh, I'm happy for me too, because it gets my mind off of other things, if you know what I mean. Like I said, they told us that the script came from New York, and they had to pay a lot of money for it. And our town's not a big town; it's about 100,000 people, but we'll probably have a couple of thousand come to it anyway. So it's really fun and just something to do. I got my foot in the door at that place, and I've been wanting to do that for a long time, because most of the plays that I've done for the city have been on a smaller venue. And I just enjoy acting and singing, and I would rather do it just locally rather than be famous and all that mess. Because I wouldn't want to travel a lot and do all that like the people that the big stars do. They don't really have a life of their own after they sign on with Hollywood or those kind of people. They just have to, they go under contract and they have to live and act and do exactly how they're told. So, but anyway, okay. Well, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and about the little Mandela effect. And also, I've been having some awesome dreams. Oh, one more thing. I just remembered what I wanted to tell y'all. So Friday night, I was so exhausted that I came home and I thought, well, you know what? I'll just listen to Freaky Friday, Scarab's channel. And I sat down in my easy chair, my comfortable chair, and I fell asleep. Well, I slept there all night, and the way my system is set up, my Chromecast, is unless you have a something in queue, it just replays the same show over and over again. So I went to sleep and I dreamt that I was at this house and Scarab was there and some other people were there and they were talking to each other and they were just kind of ignoring that I was there. I was trying to talk to them, but I don't even remember what all they were talking about. But I dreamt that almost all night long. And when I woke up, it was still on my TV the next morning because it had looped and looped all night long. So what I was doing was incorporating the show into my dream. I told him about it, but he just laughed, you know. But it's just weird the way your subconscious works, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone to sleep with the TV on
Mm-hmm.
and dreamt whatever was on the TV in your dream?
Yeah, I'll tell you
I
what.
have.
A weird experience I had one time is I was dreaming I was at a family reunion, and everyone at the family reunion was talking like the Three Stooges. And then when I woke up, it cut right into there was an episode of the Three Stooges was on my TV, and they were saying exactly what my family was saying in the dream. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just strange. I mean, you know, I realized why I was dreaming that now, and why nobody was talking back to me, because I was hearing the conversation between the people on the show, you know, and I wasn't involved in that, so they would just ignored me like I wasn't there. But anyway, and I don't even remember what they said, you know, because I was asleep during the whole time that the show was on. So. But anyway, well, I like your puppy, Armor Up, and I'm going to get off here in case somebody else wants to call in, and I love you all.
Well,
all right. Thank you very much.
Love you too.
Yep. Thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a good night. Huh? What? Well, Raven, you've been kind of quiet tonight.
Can't get a word in edgewise.
Oh, okay, I see. That's because I'm such a big blabbermouth. I know. No,
I didn't say it was just you.
okay. No, do you have anything interesting to share with us?
Well, I have some other good news.
Well, go ahead and share it, man. We're willing to hear it. At least I am. I don't know about these other two guys.
Well, I have to do a setup first.
Oh, okay.
When I was 5 years old, I 5, almost 6, I caught Rye syndrome. And if nobody knows what that is, it's when children have a high fever and you give them aspirin, and it throws them into convulsions and stuff like that. So anyhow, I had that, and I was at the UVA hospital, and there was a bunch of kids in there with me who were also sick with the same thing, and they didn't know at that time what it was. This was like in 71. They still weren't sure what it was and what was causing it. And all the other kids died except for me and another kid, and that kid had permanent brain damage. And maybe I've got brain damage, I don't know, but apparently I came out better than everybody else. And so they had to do like a lot of tests and stuff on me to see why I survived when so many other kids died. Well, it's always bothered me. I'm 53 now, and all my life it's been really hard for me, because when I had been in a coma, and when I came out of the coma, I didn't know anybody. I had no memory. of who my family was, the family dynamics or anything. And I had told my mom, and she just dismissed it and said, "Oh, you're just being silly." So I lived 47-ish years knowing that I had no clue who these people were, and it really messed me up and stuff. And so I was talking to my sister because she's now the only family I have left because my mom, my dad, and my brother are all gone. And I was asking her if she remembered what kind of a kid I was before I went into the coma and stuff. And she said that I was this, really fun-loving little girl that liked to play outside all the time and always laughing and giggling and stuff. And I said, "Well, did you notice anything different about me when I came back home from being in the hospital?" And she said, "Yeah." I mean, she said, "Well, Mom had given her this long list of things she couldn't do around me because they didn't want me to have more convulsions and they didn't want me to have a relapse. So, there was no romping and playing and all kinds of stuff." But she said she noticed that I just didn't want to go outside anymore. And she said that the day that I came down with the high fever, we had been outside playing. Well, the day before that, though, we had gone to a fish hatchery over in West Virginia, and I drank out of a water fountain over there. And I caught mono. At 5 or 6 years old, I had mono. But anyhow, she said that she thinks that I was associating being outside with getting sick, and so I wouldn't go outside anymore. So anyhow, I've lived with all of that all these years and not knowing who anybody was, and she didn't know anything about it. And so anyhow, the good news is that now we know why we were both so distant from each other, because I didn't know who she was, and she couldn't play with me like she used to because the doctors, didn't want me to get rambunctious and stuff. So that helped clear up a lot of mystery about my childhood. So that's my good news.
Wow, that's wild. Now you said you had what was it called?
Rye syndrome.
Yeah, and that made you alert. You said if you took an aspirin, it made you go into convulsions.
Well, see, back then they didn't know that kids who had high fevers, if they took aspirin, it would make them sick.
Right.
And parents were always giving their kids baby aspirin, and a lot of kids were, going into convulsions. Their fevers wouldn't come down. They were going into comas, and they didn't know why. And that's the connection that they found. If you look on the bottle of aspirin nowadays, there's a Rye syndrome warning on there.
See, that's wild. When I was a kid, in fact, it's still on my medical records that I'm allergic to aspirin. Because when I was a kid, even if I'd take like a piece of a baby aspirin, I can't even explain what it would do to me. I'd try to jump out of moving cars, and it's like I wouldn't even know where I was at or what was happening. And they had no clue what it was. They just put down I was allergic to aspirin, and I never took aspirin ever again. But when you said that, it sort of flipped me out. I'm like, whoa, that's strange.
Yeah, this was in 71, 71, 72.
This would have been the 60s, late 60s.
Yeah, and see, they had no idea what it was.
Yeah, and especially this little town. I mean, even if the cities knew what it was, the hospitals I was going to wouldn't have known nothing. It's just a little bitty town.
Yeah, I was in a little bitty town too, and my mom had called the doctor to see what to give me, and the doctor wasn't in, and so her assistant said, "We'll just give her some baby aspirin and see if that'll bring her fever down." Well, that's what caused me to go into convulsions. And my regular doctor, she apparently knew better, and when she found out what had happened, she had me immediately taken to UVA. Because, UVA is one of the big research hospitals in Virginia.
Yeah.
So it was just really nice to have confirmation that, the reason why things were so strange in the family. And my sister didn't know why. She didn't know why I was the way I was. And I didn't know that she wasn't supposed to play with me or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, had you had never had that conversation, you would still be in that. You wouldn't have found that closure. What inspired you to ask her finally after all these years?
I'm in therapy, and I've been talking to my therapist about it. Because, see, I only told 2 people when I was young that I didn't have any memory. One of them was my mom, and she dismissed it. And the other one was my paternal grandmother, and all she said was, "You'll be all right, child. Now go eat your pudding." So, it was just really hard growing up and not knowing who these people were. And everyone saying, "Well, this is you," showing me pictures, and this is you, and this is you, and, this is your aunt such and such, and, things like that. And I didn't know who anybody was. So, I had been going through that with my therapist, and she says, "Well, since you've only got one relative left, maybe you should talk to her about it." So I did.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you were able to find that. And I'm sure your sister was happy to hear it, to know that it wasn't just something between you guys that was unresolved. It was more of a case of miscommunication.
Right. If my mom hadn't dismissed it, of course, back then they didn't know that you could have memory loss from a coma. So, because this was like in the early 70s, and they just didn't know that kind of stuff. They know now, but they didn't know then. And, if mom had just talked to me about it and talked to the doctors about it, things might have been a lot different. But she just told me I was being silly, so. And when you don't know anybody and you're told you're silly, then you pretty much clam up and you don't talk about it. So that's what happened.
And that, I mean, back then, that's kind of like how they approached things. I mean, not to say that it's right or wrong or anything in between, but it was shake it off and keep on moving, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was that generation, right?
Well, you know what? That was awesome of you to share that with us, man. That's an awesome story. I have known about the Rice syndrome, but I didn't know it was through aspirin. I always heard it was through children's Tylenol.
No, it's aspirin. If you look on the back of any aspirin bottle now, you'll see it where it says Rice syndrome warning.
Okay, then that makes sense. That's why doctors prescribe Tylenol then when a child has a fever. Because I know that's what.
Right.
Somebody munching on some chips?
Not me.
No, well, it's not me this time.
My cat's playing with his toy.
Oh, okay. Wait, Armor, was that you munching on some chips?
Nope, not me. Must be Sadgie.
Oh, okay.
That's just you wanting chips, so you're hearing chips.
I will confess, a while ago, I took some turkey meat and I took some mozzarella cheese and I put some mozzarella cheese and the turkey meat and folded it over and microwaved it. And I was snacking on that while you were talking. I do apologize for that.
Believe me, we know now. You have to eat. It's okay.
Every broadcast.
Every broadcast.
All right, if we're going to come clean, I had a couple Reese's peanut butter eggs.
Oh, man. And I just ate my last peanut butter cup earlier, Armor. That makes me hungry for peanut butter eggs. I'm glad they're out now. Cool.
I always call them crack eggs.
Huh? Crack eggs?
Yeah, when I walk in Sheets or wherever, they're always on the counter, and I always like, well, give me 2 of these crack eggs since you got them right in someone's face. And they're like crack. Once you eat one, you have to have them. At least
Oh
me.
yeah.
I'm hooked on the peony egg, man.
Oh yeah. I take those peanut butter eggs sometimes. I say, squish them up and just shove them right in my veins. You know, I don't even bother eating them anymore.
Mainline the Easter egg.
That's what Saji does with his coffee. He told me that the other day. He just mainlines his coffee.
I thought he put it on like a drip.
Oh, an intravenous drip. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, I thought about doing both of those things, but I had to settle for instant coffee and a straw. So.
Oh no. You're not. Oh boy.
Don't even want to know where you put the straw. Let's just keep on rolling.
Man, Exo's. I thought I was a young buck of the group, and Exo Silly says she just turned 21. Well, happy birthday, by the way, Exo Silly. Am I saying that name correctly? I know I'm butchering it.
Exo Silly. Yep, I think you got it. 21, man. My kids are all older than her. I'm old.
Well, there's no disputing that, Armor.
I know.
I think you're. Are you the oldest one of our group, or is that Raven?
No, I think I'm the oldest of the group.
Okay.
Panel.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed of my age. I'm 53. I'll be 54 in June.
Yep.
All
June.
I know is you never ask a woman her age.
I'll be 57 in June.
Oh, cool. June what?
June the 9th.
Mine's June 20th.
Cool. Yeah, there are a lot of sixes in my birth.
Uh-oh.
Whatever that means, because I was born on June 9th, which is 6 and an upside down 6. I was born at 6 a.m. I weighed 6 pounds, 6 ounces. So maybe, they call me the Antichrist and the heretic. Who knows?
Well, mine is 6 of 66, June 6 of 66. I was born at 6:19 p.m. So maybe we're not too far off from being the same thing. Shall we have a competition?
Yeah, there you go. CJ claimed
Right.
she's 63, so she got it.
Bro, if we just gently set down our microphone and walk away, I think we'll be safe.
Huh?
I doubt it.
Don't bet on it.
Oh, okay. Well, mine doesn't have. It only has 1 6 in it. 10, 26, 77. So, I think I'm good.
Yeah, and I only have a 6 in my day, being the 26th. So, no other 6s.
Oh, wait a minute. You're 26 and I'm 26? But Armor, what did you say your birthday was?
June 9th.
Well, that's the 9th. That's not a 6.
It's an upside down 6.
Oh, well, that's only if someone grabs you by the ankles and turns you upside down.
It's a 333. I mean, 9's a lot of things, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever done that to you before, though. I don't think they would even dare try it. But I don't know.
My buddy turned me upside down once. He power drive me off the back of a deuce and a half. My back ain't been right since. I was 18.
Only time I ever felt bad body slamming someone, me and the friends was out in the yard, the schoolyard. We was playing wrestling, and I picked up this guy and I body slammed him. Well, what I didn't realize, there was a rock nearby, and when I went to body slam him, it was already too late. I'd seen the rock after I did it, but when I went to body slam him, the rock cracked his head open. He had this big old gash in his head with blood dripping out of it. And I don't know that if I felt bad at the time, but maybe after I got home and got a whipping for it, I felt bad then.
Because you got caught.
Yeah, exactly. No, I tell you, no. In all honesty, I'll be serious about it now. I did feel bad about that. That was the only time I ever felt bad body slamming somebody.
Yeah, as opposed to all those other body slams where you were like, hell yeah.
Yeah, hey, sometimes you just got to body slam a guy.
Right. And you turn around and nobody was watching. You're like, dang.
Yeah, it's the same thing when I do a flip off the diving board and nobody sees it.
I know. It's like it never even happened if nobody sees it.
Right.
If you do a flip off the diving board and no one sees it, do you splash?
Or do you splush?
Oh, good question. I don't know. Usually I don't ever do flips off the diving board. Even when I was younger, I don't think I could do a flip. I did cannonballs, though. I did hell of cannonballs. Oh, you guys should have seen it. Oh, wait, you weren't there to see it. Never mind. It never happened.
Well, if you do a cannonball off the diving board and nobody sees it, do you still bounce everybody out of the pool with the wave?
Only if your name is Andre the Giant.
Gotcha.
Maybe Yokozuna or I don't know if you guys remember King Kong Bundy, but King Kong Bundy. So anyway, guys, look, here's the deal. We're gonna shut the phone lines down.
Well, I thought before we did that, we could put up the wrong number one more time just for good measure.
Oh yeah, sure. Hold on. Where is it? No, I'm just kidding. No, if you guys have no objections, I'm sure we can close the show down after a proper shout out.
All right.
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I can't find my gavel anywhere, so I'm not going to worry about it objecting. Oh, wait, I'll use this. Order in the court.
I'll take it.
I hereby decree the allowability of a ending of Shifty Sunday at this quarter mark of 2 hours and 31 minutes to be suitable to those of the order. All yays or nays?
If we're gonna order something, I'd like to order a double chili cheeseburger with fries.
I want
Okay.
a spinach pizza with mushrooms and cream sauce.
All right, how about you, Armor?
I'll go with the double chili cheeseburger and fries and a strawberry shake.
All right. And I am going to order that it all goes on Hebrews credit card.
Good luck with that.
Throw in a pie then. Throw in an apple pie also then, please.
All right. Well, that should wrap it up. The food should be here shortly, hopefully.
Oh man. See, now you guys, as soon as we get off here, I'm making some pasta. Anyway.
Like that's something new.
Right. One of these days.
Still waiting on my meatball recipe, by the way. Since we're talking pasta.
Hey, I just made chili today.
You think an Italian would have a darn meatball recipe? I would think. It was my dream anyway.
Hey, I made some chili today, and I didn't cheat this time. I used real meat and real onions and peppers. What do you think of that?
I believe it if I'd see it.
Dang it, I should have filmed it. I knew it. It was frozen hamburger, but hey, what are you going to do?
Well, that's the best way to keep it, unless you get it fresh. Pretty much got to freeze it.
Well, no, I meant like the hamburger disc.
Oh, no, not soy burger. See, that's...
Oh, no.
Ain't no wonder your voice is getting higher. I get it now.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Soy.
that's GMO soy. That stuff's going to mess you up.
You turned it into a soy boy. And you thought your chest was getting bigger because you was getting fatter. No, that ain't the problem, brother.
Oh man, you guys kill me.
Yeah, soon when you can breastfeed, we'll see who's laughing then.
Yeah, I can see the training with Hebrew YouTube video already.
Oh,
I ain't watching that one. I ain't watching it.
Okay, now that we have devolved, can we get that shout out now, please?
Coming down and moving on. All right, we got Exo Sally in the house. Euler Greg. CJ Wood, thank you for sharing. What an awesome call. Michael Fontaine. Scroll up, see who we're missing. Dun, dun, dun. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Lorraine Lamore in the house. Fizzy Pop was in here telling us to hurry up because some guy named Dan wants to have a movie night like we care. Let's see who else. You watch your movie. We ain't stopping you. No, just kidding. They know I love them. At least I have to pretend to.
Oh, you mean I could have been watching a movie with Dan this whole time? And I've been here with you guys.
Exactly. What a waste of space. True Set You Free. Vivian was here, of course. Hey, Red Shirt Blues, lurking in the house as always. And hopefully our favorite lurker, Zombie Cat Club, is around. But that looks like that's it. I don't think I missed anyone. If I did, it's because you didn't talk.
Cool shout out, brother, as always. I'd like to remind everyone. Oh, excuse me. Hold on, I gotta mute up. Something's going on. Oh my god, it's coming up to my throat. Oh my gosh. Excuse me.
Oh wow. I would like to remind everyone. Oh wait, hold on a second.
I'm gonna remind you. Oh, only on this channel. Only on this channel.
That's better. What's only on this channel?
You.
Oh man. No, I did. What was I saying? I forgot. Oh yeah, I wanted to remind everyone to tune in this Tuesday for Taco Tuesday if everyone's well and nobody gets a bellyache. Not mentioning names there, or nobody has something else to do, or nobody's internet goes out. Not mentioning names there, but
or if there's no major, catastrophe or earthquake or wildfire or interstellar disclosure from UFOs, anything like that. If none of that stuff happens,
Comets, asteroids.
Yeah.
Don't forget the virus.
Planet X.
Oh yeah, and no coronaviruses come around and destroy the population.
Yeah, if we live through all that, if we survive the apocalypse, people, he'll be here for Taco Tuesday.
But this won't be any ordinary Taco Tuesday. Oh no.
Is there such a thing as an ordinary Taco Tuesday?
I know, right? Even our intro is unordinary. Which isn't that a good thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, but you were about to say is what's the extraordinary out of the ordinary thing we got in store for this Taco Tuesday, my man?
You could say that. Twice.
All right, what's the extraordinary out of the ordinary thing we got for this Taco Tuesday?
You mean the extraordinary out of the ordinary, out of category thing we have for this Taco Tuesday?
Well, yeah, the extraordinary, not your ordinary, and yeah, that.
It will be ladies' night. And
all right, ladies' night, and the feeling's right. All right. Oh, what a night! So who all will be here for this extraordinary, out of the ordinary ladies' night reunion?
Well, hopefully Raven, if she's up to it.
All right. Ding, ding, ding. Caw, caw. All right. Who else?
Awake and Activate. I mean,
Awake and Activate. Okay.
Right.
AKA Michelle's Opinion. She's going to be in the house. Woo, woo. All right. Who else?
Well. Now, hopefully, I'm not. You know, I'm
nope,
not.
I'm writing it down, booked and sealed. Michelle's Opinion. Got it.
Okay.
All right. Now, who else you got?
Hopefully, Honey Anna Maya will be here.
Honey Anna Maya. That just kind of rolls off your tongue like some sweet marmalade in the summertime. Now, don't it?
And let's not forget yours truly, the host that burns his toast the most.
No, you can't be here. Sorry. You can bring us in and then disappear. We'll take
So
it.
I heard you were going to bring your alter ego, She-Bro, to the show. Is that true?
Well, I don't know about being my alter ego, but I do know the person very well.
Yeah, it's kind of like a version of Hebrew, but it's more feminine than the one we know and love already, right?
Wait a minute, you could get more feminine? Michael Fontaine wants to know what time the show is, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, what time? What time is it? Are you thinking like our normal 9 a.m., 9 p.m. start time?
Well, it might be a little bit earlier. It might be 8 p.m.
All right.
It's Eastern, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Tuesday evening, ladies' night, Michelle's Opinion, or Wake and Activate, Raven, Honey Ann, anybody else?
That's pretty much all I have booked. Oh, wait, shoot. What am I thinking? She would kill me if I didn't forget to mention her. Vivian.
All right. What'd you say?
I just said yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. About the idea.
Vivian.
Yeah.
All right. Otherwise known as The Truth Sets You Free.
Right. And I'm
All
sure
right.
she'll have some interesting stories to tell us, as will Michelle, and so will Raven, I hope.
Yeah, it'll be great getting all these females together, letting them express themselves and voice their
opinion.
Yeah, their opinions, their ideas, and just just letting them shine, letting the ladies shine for a while. That'll be a great thing.
You know, I used to like getting an opinion from Michelle's opinions, but I guess that's no longer the case. I guess I have to get an opinion from Awake and Activate, formerly known as Michelle's Opinions.
Right, trademark pending. You're right.
Yeah.
I think it could be a great show. I look forward to it.
All right. So
yeah, I mean, great. It'd be great if we could get even more involved. Maybe Fizzy or somebody else. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be good. You know,
they're not running a movie.
I was just getting ready to say that. Yeah. Yeah, better make sure they're not having a movie that night.
All right, so you were talking about wanting to put a bow on it, huh?
Yes, let's go ahead and do that. We'll sign it, seal it, deliver it, and send it off.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody that was in chat, all of our normal regular followers. If you weren't able to listen live and you're listen later, you still continue to hit the play and the like button. We're just thankful to have anybody out there who's taking the time to partake in our hijinks, and I'm thankful for every single one of you.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, that would have been perfect timing, but then nobody else would have got to talk.
Right.
I just getting it ready.
I think his button is haunted. It goes off like that on its own sometimes.
Yeah, sometime. No, that time I just started to get it ready. So that wasn't one that went off on its own. But the last couple of times it did. It's pretty freaky.
Yeah. Or is it pretty shifty?
It's Shifty Sunday.
That's right. Well, hey, my final thoughts are take some time, get alone. Just like the one story I read. Get out in nature. Get to know the Father. It'll blow your mind and change your life. That's my final thought.
And my final thoughts are count your blessings, because you never know who you might lose or what you might lose at any time. So be thankful for everything now. And if you could you please go to Dan's GoFundMe page and spread a little love to Dan and pray for the children. Father's blessings to all of you. Good night.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, before what I said really wasn't my final thought. But I guess my final thought is, I don't know. I'm just thankful to be here. I really do appreciate getting to be part of the show, guys. And I don't know. I'm just feeling a lot of gratuitousness here this week. I feel like things are finally starting to come together for me, and my personal life. Certain things are happening. I got a chance to talk to my daughter. She may or may not even be listening to our podcast now, so I told her about it and sent her the link and whatnot. But I don't know. I'm feeling a lot of gratuity, and I'm just really feeling thankful to be part of this group. And that's really all I got. Go ahead, Hebrew.
Well, I just wanted to say that I just wanted to share a funny story with you guys real quick, and then I'll tell everyone how.
No, it's final thoughts time. You missed out on the story, brother.
Hey, now. Oh, come on, man. This is really good. I promise.
I mean, you act like it's your show or something. I mean, like
just flip the script whenever you want. Flip it up.
Yeah, what is this? My show? Or I know what you mean. But no, we were in the car the other day. We're driving around. And then
and by we you mean you and your homeboys from the Gestapo?
No, that was last week.
Oh, okay.
No, this is me, my wife, and my kid. We're driving around. We're coming home from I forget where the heck it was. Maybe like Walmart or something like that. I don't know.
Chuck E. Cheese, probably. Sure, there was food involved. Carry on.
I wish we had a Chuck E. Cheese around here. Now it's in Kentucky. But no,
that would be Kentucky cheese. That ain't Chuck E. Cheese. That's Kentucky cheese. I digress.
Kentucky cheese. What would be their? Let's see. It wouldn't be a mouse. It'd be wherever the heck Kentucky is.
It'd be a racehorse. Come on, and it'd be blue cheese.
Oh yeah. My wife would like that idea. I hate blue cheese, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we're driving around. We're coming back home from shopping or eating or whatever the heck it was, and
so which one is it? Were you shopping or eating?
Hey, you listen to me right now, pal.
You're probably shopping and then got something to eat on the way home. That's what I'm going with. Carry on.
All right, I'll take that. I'll settle for that answer.
You see what I got to deal with here? I see how it is.
Hey, come on. I thought we was wrapping this puppy
up.
up.
I know. Come on. I mean, you're in the middle of trying, come on. We're waiting on, we're hanging on every word here.
Okay. I'll leave that door open. But no, we're driving around. Dang it, no. We're coming home. And
I know you're on your way home from shopping or eating, but now what happens next? Can't wait to find out.
So I was sitting there, and I don't even know how the conversation got started, but I said jackass during part of the conversation. And my daughter's in the back seat. She goes, that's her usual thing to do if me and my wife slip up and say a word. I said, no. You don't understand. I was talking about a donkey. I said, that's what you call a jackass is what they call a male donkey. And she's like, well, what's a female donkey called? I said, a Jill ass.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hit the applause button. Play us out of here, Sam.
But no, she kind of thought I was serious there, and then my wife told her, no, it's not.
So when you tell her to go to her room, and she says, you go to your room, jackass. Then you can't get mad because she's just telling you that you're a donkey, right?
Yeah, right. No. Oh boy, you guys kill me. You know that.
We try.
Yeah, I know.
But you keep coming back, so we're not succeeding.
He's a zombie by now.
Well, great show, everyone. Great show, everyone. And I'd like to just thank everyone for participating. This has been your host that burns his toast, T-Bro77, along with God's Armor, Sagittariusly Speaking, and Ravenhawk. All right, play us to the desk. Play us to the desk, Armor. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hold on, I hit the wrong button. Hold on. The bean footage is temporarily suspended. One moment, please. Where is it? There it is.
All right.
S is for the S's that have disappeared. H is for house, it's changed, my dear. I is for incredible, lots of changes to our edibles. F is freaky 'cause Mandela effects are all the buzz. And T is for time that's running fast. Y is for your memories, hope they last. If it's not a fun day, won't you join me Shifty Sunday? Shifty Sunday for Emmys. Shifty Sunday, if you please.
Back home, This shirt smells like cheesy laundry detergent. What the heck's going on?